So this is my review of the NXT episode of 19th March 2025 edition. I didn't watch the first hour because I always get confused between the timings. Here, the NXT comes in the morning in India, so I thought it's gonna be at 6:30, but it was at 5:30. I caught in at 6:30 where I saw like the replays of Tony D'Angelo getting jumped by Temu Shield, who finally have a name, which is Dark State. Like he got legit mobbed, so the culling won against the D'Angelo family. The You had like a backstage promo of the Dark State, like stating, uh, like they're above that we are NXT bullshit, that they want to take these opportunities by hand. They want to grab it because waiting got them nothing. And I think I liked the guy who was the light skinned guy who was the leader. I think he was the most convincing. The dark skinned guy had, I think, potential that he could be a great promo in the future. The other two guys were like, yeah, they memorized some lines. They go, ooh, this. I was like, okay. You also had, Stephanie Walker will defend both of her titles next week, which is the NXT Championship against Jada Parker and the NXT North American Women's Championship against Fallon Henley. The thing is, they may go the easy route and just have Stephanie lose to Fallon Henley in the main event, and then you get Fallon Henley the title, and maybe she goes to Stand and Deliver. Maybe she faces Jordan there, and Jordan takes the title off her. Or I think the better option would be have Stephanie beat Fallon Henley just by whiskers of her teeth, or whatever the saying is, and have her defend both of her titles in at Stand and Deliver, and then lose to Jordan Grace, or a, anyone who you want. Because I think it has always been like that. Either you have the double champion lose one of their titles quick, or you just have them vacate. The thing is, the vacating the title would have worked in getting like a tournament there, and maybe they won't have to work a lot on the creative side to fill time, kind of like what AEW does half of the time, just do a tournament so that we can hide our creative inadequacies. But moving on, you had Carmen Petrovic versus JC Jane, because 1 month earlier Fatal Influence beat her and Ashante's ass. The match was fine. First thing is that JC Jane looks like an emo girl who is in a phase of becoming a dominatrix. Who is in the middle of that phase, sticking her tongue out, and I was like, man, it's like 6:30 in the morning. Please don't do this. I'm too vulnerable in the morning to handle this stuff. In the end, Ashante like threw a chair, and I was like, yeah, you stupid. But then the commentators rightfully so pointed out that Ashante was saying that winning the match doesn't matter. Do you remember what they did? So get your get back, get your revenge. So he was not really that wrong in his reasoning. Booker T was going wild in this match, and are your tickets? The tickets are sold out. JC Jane, man, oh yeah, man, and everything. Like it sometimes distracts you from the match if you have just tuned in and you're not like fully locked into the show. But I like their dynamic, because Vic Joseph is like the straight up commentator, but he's not that straight up that he has some kind of carrot stuck up his ass and he like blah, 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 blah. He also has a little bit of charisma. He knows how to give it back to Booker T in a way that is still like professional, but still a little bit like snarky. So there's a very good dynamic between them. I like that. But in the end, because of the chair coming in, JC Jane wins the match. I just didn't like that when Carmen has been distracted by the chair. Why do you need her to still, you know, thwart the advantage that JC Jane got from the distraction and then still lose? Like just have her hit the finisher right then. The JC Jane hits. Why do you give her that why do you give Carmen that little oh she thought with the distraction advantage? Just have JC Jane win, and JC Jane won that match. And then you had like a Jada Parker promo also. It was not bad, but it was not like great either. It was like just normal stuff, and in the end, it was like clocked it. It felt like the way she was saying the promo, the way she was delivering, it was like she was saying some very profound shit, but it was just normal. And the thing is, people who don't really like her because of what she said on the transgender, in sports issue, like they're gonna, look into every like little bit of bad things which are in her promos, and then they're gonna say that she is not ready and all that. But she, remember, she is in developmental. What it's been what like a year since she's been in NXT, and she has shown so much potential. You can cry all you want because she has a different opinion than me, but she will be NXT champion one day, and she will be a big star in the WWE. So clock it. You also had Ricky Starks versus Ridge Holland. They have been setting this up for like some weeks now, and it was essentially that Ridge Holland thinks that Ricky Starks is sports entertainment and all that. The thing is, in this match, what I liked was that Ricky Starks was selling his back. It's just that this match was very slow, like every Ridge Holland match. Ridge Holland's best is that when he's in attack, like you saw when he was with Chase U, like you saw when he was with Pete Dunne. Apart from that, I don't think he has in him to be like even like a mid card, like a strong heel. He just doesn't have that factor. Like he is kind of tall, but it's like you have people like as tall as him, and he just doesn't have the skills to be that. So if you want the best use of Ridge Holland, like put him in a tag team like Chase U, like put him with Pete Dunne, like that is his best use. That is the best that you're gonna get out of him. This is clearly not working. In the end, Ricky was not able to get all of the Rochambeau because his back was hurt. I like Ricky's selling, but this match, it was fine, but it kind of did nothing for Ricky apart from that he got a win. Then you had a backstage promo where the culling interrupted him with, and I was like, all of them are taller than Ricky, and it was like Sean Spears was behind, and it was the two guys and Izzy Dame in the front, and Izzy Dame has really taken into this role in the culling. I think she has finally found her calling on NXT. Like this character, the way she talks in this group, I think it is working, and she's actually like this is her, like this is what her gimmick should be. And she said that what one guy of the tag team said that what the revolution which is happening is what we are doing, and then Izzy Dame is like you have the charisma, but then she looked at his private parts and said, but you don't measure up. And Ricky was like, first of all, like, okay, like you guys don't like the newcomers and all, and sweetie, I measure up in the right places. And you had a loud reaction from the performance, and I was like, yeah. In the end, he did like the chapri, but I don't blame him. You first looked at his private parts like that. You should be in jail for that, for ogling, whatever she said, eve teasing and all that. It was a fun thing, like, and then in the end it was like between him and Sean Spears. I'm like, yeah, at Stand and Deliver, this shouldn't be a long feud. Like, Shawn Michaels has the some kind of like uh, cockroach inside him which wants to have like people who are clearly not good wrestlers be in long feuds. Like, come on, I don't want to see Ricky Starks and Sean Spears in like a proper like 3 match feud. Like, have it a one and done, have like a rematch on a random episode of NXT and end it. Sean Spears should lose at Stand and Deliver. Then also you had a backstage segment where Hank and Tank were there. I think because they lost to Inamura. I didn't watch the first half. People say that Chelsea versus Soul Ruka was good. That Stephanie's promo was first half was like stand up for WWE. Like, she's a Fed soldier and she's good. But they were like we got advice from the Hardys, but still we are not being able to become something. And he was like, and the other guy was like, maybe we need to get advice from the tag teams we want to be at the level at. And then they were interrupted by the usual Wesley and his moves, and they were like, it doesn't matter who you guys take advice from. And then they said that if you're not on that level, no advice will do nothing, and then probably they'll face the Wesley's guys will probably face these two guys next week. You also had the Dark Side saying maybe we should prove our point even further. Then they went away. Then you had the main event, which was uh, Trick Williams facing Eddie Thorpe in an underground match, and I think this is what the underground match should be. Like, it works so well in the performance center, and then they had a match they were running against type, which was good. I think the only thing that I had a problem was maybe the ending, like maybe the punches could have been a little bit harder. But apart from that, it was what it needed to be. Maybe it would have had like 2 minutes more, maybe 3 minutes, 2 minutes more. And I think also in the Ricky versus Ridge Holland match, it felt like some of the moves that Ricky was doing was a little bit clunky, like clunky. They were not like really like smooth, but overall fine. Then after the match, Trick was like Eddie, you better learn how to score because Trick won by knockout. And were the guys that were standing at Trick, were they the LFG guys? I don't know. And then Trick got stopped by the referee because he won by TKO, and Trick said, "You should learn how to score well, Eddie." And then he called out Oba, and then Oba came out with all of his aura, removed his shirt, and then in the ring they were there. And then the Timo Shield shows up with their music blaring out. I'm like, what kind of a invading faction has like their music just queued up to play? Then what happened was that out of nowhere, Javon Evans showed up. Like, did they beat up Javon in one of those weeks? Because he showed up out of nowhere. But it costs. But Trick already had like a confrontation with him, like what, last week or something, or last week, and then he started squabbling, and then all three started squabbling. Then the LFG guys got into the ring, and then they were trying to break apart everything. All hell broke loose. But the Timo Shield was just standing there. They didn't went to the ring. They were like, oh, we don't need to be there. They're causing chaos themselves. And in the end, like when Trick and Oba were like staring each other, Javon Evans comes with like a cutter to Oba and like lays him out. And then in the end, it's just Trick and Javon Evans just staring at each other. So maybe we are getting like a Trick versus Javon Evans match. Maybe whoever wins faces Oba at a standard deliver. Maybe the Dark State guys interfere, and that causes like a complete breakdown. So Ava may decide to have like a triple threat at standard level. Maybe Trick just straight up beats up Javon Evans, and then they have like a singles match. Because this means that if Javon Evans is involved in this means that probably Trick is staying there for a while. Because I think whatever happens is that this ends like whenever Trick goes, it ends after Oba defeats him in a singles match. Maybe it doesn't end at standard level. Maybe it's a triple threat match, but then Trick just still goes to the main roster, gets like a final match on like an episode of NXT against Oba for the NXT Championship, and then Oba defeats him, and Trick, anyways, he's already on the main roster. He bids goodbye and he goes. From what I saw of the NXT episode, it was fine. It was a 3 out of 5 for the hour that I saw. If I had, seen the first hour, maybe it would have been higher too, but I didn't see. So, what did you think about this episode of NXT? Like, tell me in the comment section below. And if you like this type of content, like, share, and subscribe. If you don't, then share it with those who do. My social media accounts links, which are my Twitter/X account and my Instagram account links are in the description, so go follow me on that. My UPI ID, which is shared by OKICICI, is in the description also, so go donate any amount of money which you can, which can help me make YouTube a permanent career option. So that was it for me for right now. So thank you. Goodbye.